turn to chapter New York Times, Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. Today's lesson will be about best-selling author delays a new novel she set in Siberia. Elizabeth Gilbert has been pulled into a debate about Russian representation in art by Elizabeth A. Harris and Alexandra Alter. I think this would be kind of an interesting way to set off Slavic summer. Let's talk about this article. Also, if you guys happen to know, what was it? 60 down, Maravik in the Basketball Hall of Fame, 4 letters. Please let me know. That'd be very helpful. I would very much like that. So, what is this video? Today's video, like I said, thought it'd be kind of cool to kick this off with this article that I read. Essentially, this woman, I think she's of Eat, Pray, Love fame. I think. Yes. Whose memoir? She had a memoir. I have not read the book and I've not seen the movie, and I don't think I will. I don't think Elizabeth Gilbert, I don't think this woman, sorry to you, woman, I don't think you're my vibe. Now, what do I think about this? Okay, so basically, what even happened? I didn't even get into that. What happened? So, Gilbert had this book that she set in Soviet Union in Siberia, and apparently her Ukrainian fans are very upset because not only are they selling a book, publishing a book set in, what is now currently what is Russia, but also they are doing so in February of 2024, which of course is, would be the second anniversary of the full-scale Russian invasion into Ukraine. I mean, touch wood that it's not, and this ends, and it ends in a way that, the right way, obviously, Ukrainian victory, let's be honest here. But obviously, that's so tone deaf. Hello, do we have brain cells? Why are we doing this? But basically, the title says, there's going to be a delay, and there's been some stirring up, some controversy as to whether or not this is a good thing. Is this censorship? Should people be treating this as somehow an acceptance of the war? Are you supporting it by doing so? And I kind of wanted to talk about my opinions on this because I think, not that my opinions will surprise you, but I think there's an interesting 2 elements of this to me, right? The first is, do I think that this woman is oh yes, this is good, what's happening is okay, or I don't care about this? I don't think so. But I also, the other end of this is I do not care if her book does not get published. I do not care when it gets published. I will never read it. I will never have an interest in reading it for a few reasons. The first reason is she's an American, okay? Whenever Americans write about anything that takes place within Eastern Europe, but I'm going to specifically focus on Russia, whenever they talk about that, they get everything wrong. It's so weird. It's so awkward. And you are sitting there and you're what the heck am I reading? What am I reading? This is, it's like someone is telling you that they're speaking to you in English, but all the words, it's like when someone speaks in Spanish, but they do it in an American accent. It's hola, me llamo, they wouldn't even say that. Hola, me llamo, dead lizard, yo soy, una gata. Si quieres comer algo? When they do that and you're what is going, it's weird, right? It's so weird. And that is how I feel about whenever an American tries to do it, because they do this thing where it's they have the artifacts of the place that they're setting the book, but then culturally, the way the characters act and behave and interact, it's so uncanny valley. It's so awkward. I watched that movie Red Sparrow with my mom, and we were both like, first of all, don't watch that movie with your mom. Like, me and my mom, like, we can watch stuff, but like, that was a lot to watch with your mom. But then we were laughing. We weren't laughing. We were actually really mad. We were like, okay, but this was not, like, why did you set this in this country? Because this person didn't act at all like they were from that country. Like, this allegedly Russian, Russian woman who is like, they're like, oh, the ballerina doesn't want to sleep with the very, very wealthy man. She's the good girl. It's like, no, like, that type of moralizing doesn't necessarily exist over there. It would be like something of an expectation and not necessarily like viewed in this way, like the way that the Americans view it. And I was like, it was so awkward and so weird. And we were like, just angry about that, like angry about the fact that it's like this decision is being made and you're supposed to like agree with it and like be like, oh yeah, I'm on the same page as this girl making this decision, when you're not. And you're like, well, like, it's really freaking awkward. It's one of the reasons why, like, whenever someone says, I want to see like X type of representation, like, and especially like own voices representations, like, yeah, absolutely, because it is so awkward to see a person who is supposed to like be like you and then they're not like you, and that they're not like you and you can feel it, but it's like, but they're there. Shouldn't you just be happy that they're there? So that's one reason why I think, to me, it's like, don't publish your book, dude, because I don't think that book's going to add a lot of value into this space, like, because to me, it's just going to be an awkward and clunky thing that uses this as a backdrop to talk, probably, if I understand correctly, the book is about, supposed to be like the oppressive Soviet regime. It's like, it's just going to be a clunky backdrop to talk about that, like oppressive regimes. Like, figure out a different way of doing that, man. The other reason why I don't like it is because, again, oftentimes when the West looks at Russia, they see it as this place filled only with Russians. And it's just not. Like, especially if it's taking place in Siberia. Obviously, I haven't read this. I don't know. Maybe this woman is really informed. But I doubt it. Like, I just doubt she's going to be really informed. But if she starts telling a story and there is only Russians in her story, boom, bad story. There's a lot of different ethnicities, especially in places like Siberia. You know what I mean? Like, people, like the Sakha people, are not white people. They're Asian. Yeah. Like, what the hell? And especially too, for example, I don't know, maybe she did this, but I'm going to be very doubtful that she did this. Like, a lot of Ukrainians were sent over into Siberia as a way to break up power by like getting similar people away from each other so that they wouldn't have, centralized force, but also as a way of like sending Ukrainians to places where they didn't have access, they didn't have experience living in those climates, and they didn't have local communities, which is an effective way to kill people in Siberian winters. They might not have any marketable skills in the area. I think of like Sofia Petrovna, where the one woman with her daughter is sent, and she's like, I'm a stenographer. I cannot do anything. I don't have any skills for this rural village they're trying to send me to in Siberia. I won't be able to work. I'm going to die, right? Like, that's the way to think about this. And that was something that was commonly done with different ethnic minorities within the Soviet Union. And so, like, that story's not going to get told, right? And even if it does get told, I don't know if I want to hear Ms. Gilbert be the one to tell it. I think I'd want it from someone who maybe their family actually experienced that, or the families of their loved ones, the people around them, people in their community and their culture experience that, especially too, because then the people who are the benefactors of like that story being told are the people who were originally affected by it. So to me, I think whatever conversation you want to have about censorship, you should also have a conversation of, why are you writing this? Should you be writing this? Do you have enough of an understanding? Because especially that's something that happens, right? It's this washing, it's this cleansing of this country's history. It's this misrepresentation of it, like I heard from someone else, they did not know Ukrainian was a language the other day. there are consequences when everyone shines their light on this one country, and when they ignore the reality of A, its neighbors, but B, even the people living in that country itself, you know, there's consequences to that. So yeah, like I said, I don't care. Take it or leave it. I would never read this book anyway. Even if there was no full-scale invasion, I would not be reading this. You shouldn't read it either. Read a work by a Ukrainian author. I will leave some linked in the description. All right. Have a great day.